Okay, so let me just set the scene for you. Imagine being with someone for 9 years, like almost a decade of your life. That's high school to college, college to your first job, all the big birthdays, every family drama, every late night drive, every inside joke that only the two of you understand. That was us. He was my person. Or so I thought. We met back in college. He was that guy everyone sort of noticed, but didn't really know. Kind of quiet, smart in this nerdy way, but with these intense eyes like he was always thinking about something important. I fell for him so hard and so fast it was almost embarrassing. We just clicked. We had this shorthand, our own language. You know, the kind of love where you feel like you're becoming a team. That was us. People used to say we were perfect together. And honestly, for a long time, I believed them. We survived moving cities, job changes, even the pandemic, when everyone else seemed to break up or go insane from being stuck indoors together. We just fit. But here's the thing. Nothing is ever as perfect as it looks on Instagram stories or Facebook posts. And if I'm being brutally honest with myself, there were little cracks starting to show a couple years ago, tiny things that I brushed off because, well, who wants to think their forever person might not be forever? It started with small stuff. He'd get distant sometimes, but then chalk it up to work stress. He'd go out for drinks after work more often, but say it was networking. And sometimes I'd catch him texting late at night, and he'd say it was just his group chat from the office being dumb again. I didn't think much of it, I mean. Everyone needs their space, right? Plus, we'd always promised each other we'd talk about it if anything ever felt off. So imagine me loyal to a fault, supporting him through his career changes and existential crises. Because yes, there were more than one, finding out after 9 years that while I was busy loving him and building this life around us, he was emotionally cheating on me with a coworker. Yeah, a coworker. Of course it's a coworker. You know what's worse than finding out your partner cheated? Realizing that all those moments you second-guessed yourself and told yourself you were overreacting, you weren't crazy at all. The way it all came out was almost laughable if it wasn't so soul-crushingly humiliating. He sat me down one night after dinner. We'd just eaten takeout on the couch like any other Tuesday. And suddenly, he gets this serious look on his face, like he's about to confess that he dented my car or something minor like that. But no, he says, and I swear I'll never forget this, I'm going through an identity crisis. Like he's some tortured poet or misunderstood artist. He says he's been feeling lost at work and doesn't know who he is anymore, and blah, 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 and then, out of nowhere, I'm physically attracted to someone else. My heart actually stopped for a second. It felt like the world slowed down and sped up at the same time. He said her name, the coworker, and said she was ruining his life because he couldn't stop thinking about her. Like I'm supposed to what? Comfort him. Help him get over his crush. And then came the worst part. She broke up with her boyfriend too. Like it was fate or something. Like they were star-crossed lovers instead of two people blowing up their relationships for a work fling. But here, where things got twisted, he refused to call it a breakup between us. Even though every word out of his mouth was past tense, we had a good run. always care about you. I don't want to hurt you." But when I asked him directly, "Is this a breakup? You ending things with me?" he went silent. So guess who had to be the adult in the room and say it first? Me. Through actual tears streaming down my face and my voice shaking so hard I could barely get the words out. "So we're breaking up." He just nods and mutters something about needing space to figure himself out. And then later, get this, he uses that against me. Tells me weeks later, "Well, you said it was a breakup first, so I started processing that." Like I forced his hand or something. As if I manufactured my own heartbreak. But wait, it gets better. Instead of actually giving me clarity or closure, he becomes more emotionally closed off than ever before. Suddenly, everything is "let's not use labels. I still care about you. I want us to be best friends," which is such garbage because friends don't ghost each other while dating new people, he tells me. "I will not leave you or abandon you or ghost you." He literally promises me this, looking straight in my eyes while I'm sobbing on our living room floor, and then proceeds to do exactly that. A few days later, like less than a week after our breakup, which apparently only existed in my head, his new coworker girlfriend stays over at his apartment. The place where we used to binge watch movies and cook breakfast together on lazy Sundays. He doesn't tell me any of this directly. I find out through mutual friends who are as shocked as I am because they only heard we were on a break. Which brings me to social media, the final battlefield of every broken relationship in 2024. This man deletes every photo of us from Instagram and Facebook within days, like 9 years never happened. Stops sharing his location with me, which we always did for safety, not that it matters now, and yet tells all our friends we're just taking space, on a break. Meanwhile, I am spiraling inside my own head, trying not to text or call or drive by his place, just to see if her car is parked outside. Everyone keeps telling me it isn't about me, it's about him. But how can you not take something like that personally? For weeks after he left, I begged him for answers, a real conversation, a chance to fix what broke between us. I cried in front of him, I pleaded, at one point, and yes, I cringe thinking about this now. I even suggested maybe we try an open relationship while he figures himself out, because the idea of losing him completely made my skin crawl. But even then, even as desperate as I was, he told me, "I don't want to string you along, because if we try open, there's a chance I'll catch feelings for her." Like what? He didn't want labels, but wanted space. Wanted friendship, but also wanted freedom from guilt while moving on overnight with someone else. Wanted me around as emotional support, but not someone he actually dated. And here's how petty, or maybe just wounded, I became. For 3 whole months after our breakup, ghosting, whatever you call that mess, I couldn't bring myself to block him online. Every single time I opened Instagram or Facebook, my stomach would drop, wondering if he posted something new, or even worse, a photo with her. But instead of blocking or unfollowing me, which would have been merciful at least, he just acted like I didn't exist at all, while posting more than ever before. He unfollowed my best friend, the person who introduced us, started posting gym selfies and brunch photos like nothing happened. No explanation needed, all while leaving the door open just enough for me to torture myself, thinking maybe one day he'd reach out again and apologize or miss what we had or realize what he lost. But nope. 5 months later, not a word from him since that last disastrous conversation where he told me not to worry because he wouldn't ghost me. He never reached out, not even once, to see if I was okay after burning down everything between us and running straight into someone else's arms. And then the kicker, I see pictures pop up on mutual friends' feeds. Him with her at some music festival, looking happier than ever. Her sitting in his lap at brunch. Them wearing matching ugly Christmas sweaters in December, when we used to do that every year. That's when it hit me. The person who promised not to leave disappeared without looking back, and apparently replaced me instantly without missing a beat. So yeah, I finally blocked him everywhere after 3 months of emotional whiplash, because seeing his face pop up randomly whenever I tried scrolling through dog memes or watching TikToks was literally killing my sanity day by day. But here, where my brain won't let go, is blocking really closure? Or am I being petty for wanting him gone from every corner of my digital life? Part of me wants him blocked forever, the ultimate disappearing act, the digital equivalent of slamming the door, shut so hard it echoes in his ears whenever he tries searching for me online. But then there's this other evil little voice, the voice that wants vengeance, that whispers maybe if he could see how much better I'm doing now without him, maybe then he'd regret throwing away 9 years over someone who probably doesn't even know his favorite pizza topping yet. My friends say blocking is healthy, that it stops the endless cycle of hope, disappointment, hate watching his stories. But sometimes late at night, when I'm alone in bed scrolling mindlessly through strangers' highlight reels, I wonder, what if he'd secretly been watching MY stories? What if seeing ME thriving made HIM feel even an ounce of regret? Because here's what's wild. I have made progress since that nuclear breakup blew up my whole life. I'm seeing a therapist twice a month. Shout out Dr. Patel, you absolute queen. I'm going out again. Even tried karaoke last weekend. I've picked up painting again, my old therapy. And for the first time in ages, I'm remembering what it's like to actually enjoy my own company without worrying what he'll think about every little thing I do or say or wear. My friends have been amazing. They drag me out for pizza nights and movie marathons. They've let me ugly cry into their throw pillows. They've sent threatening texts offering to key his new girlfriend's car. Just joking, sorta. They've shown up for me in ways he never did when things got hard at the end. And yet some nights, it's still so raw inside, like I'll never fully shake off those 9 years, no matter how many times people tell me I'm better off without him. Sometimes I'll catch myself rereading old messages or scrolling through photos I've hidden away in some folder labeled "Do not open," just because I'm afraid deleting them means erasing proof our love ever existed at all. Sometimes I'll wake up from dreams where we're still together, where none of this ever happened. And for one blissful second, everything feels normal before reality comes crashing back around my ears like glass shattering on tile floors. The question keeps spinning in my head. Was blocking him actually power or weakness? Did cutting off every avenue mean I'd finally moved on? Or did it mean deep down I'm still waiting for some grand apology that'll never come? I've talked this over with literally everyone from my therapist, who calmly reminds me boundaries are self-care, to drunk strangers in bar bathrooms, who always vote block HIM and his ugly sweater forever. Opinions are split right down the middle. Some people say letting your ex watch you glow up is peak revenge. That living well really is the best payback. And maybe that's true if they're still lurking your socials hoping you'll fall apart without them. But others insist true freedom comes from living your life so fully they're not even an afterthought anymore. That blocking isn't petty, but protective. That it's okay if healing sometimes looks like erasing someone completely from your world, just so you can start breathing again without checking over your shoulder every 5 minutes wondering if he's watching or judging or missing you at all. I've tried both ways now. First 3 months torturing myself by keeping him unblocked because part of me hoped he'd reach out, or at least see how much better I'm doing without him. Then 3 months post-block, feeling weirdly free, but also occasionally haunted by what-ifs. What if he's forgotten about me entirely? What if blocking made HIM feel relieved instead of regretful? What if nothing gets through, and all those years really do dissolve into nothing more than deleted photos and awkward small talk at mutual friends' weddings someday? Because that's another thing nobody tells you about long-term breakups. It's not just losing them. You lose half your memories too, half your friend group, half your sense of self. I can't count how many times I've run into someone from our circle since all this happened. The questions are always the same. Hey, how are you doing? Did you see he's dating someone new? Are you okay? Every time, it's another reminder that no matter how much progress I've made, I am still rebuilding from scratch because he decided 9 years wasn't worth fighting for anymore. Therapy helps, but healing isn't linear. Some days I'll go whole hours, even days not thinking about him at all. Other days I'll see something random, a song on Spotify, an ad for couples massages, a dog wearing a bandana like ours used to. And suddenly, it feels like someone yanked all the air right out of my chest again. And maybe that's what scares me most, that I'll never be able to fully erase those memories, or worse, that eventually he will. So, if you're listening right now hoping for some neat little answer about whether blocking is better than letting your ex see how amazing you're doing post-breakup, here's what I've learned. It's messy either way. You can block them everywhere and still wonder if they're thinking about you, or leave them unblocked and torture yourself wondering why they're not reaching out, or worse, why they seem totally fine moving on without you. There's no magic answer, no single act that'll make 9 years disappear overnight. Blocking gave Emmy peace, but only after months spent beating myself up over whether he'd ever come crawling back, apologizing for everything he'd done. Spoiler alert, he didn't, not once, not even an accidental text asking how I'd been, not even a birthday message, not even a single apology for replacing nearly a decade together with someone he'd known less than 6 months. Maybe that's closure enough, maybe that's proof enough that some people really can walk away from everything without ever looking back. Or maybe he's hurting too, but refuses to show it. Or maybe he's moved on completely and doesn't care one bit. Or maybe, just maybe, the only person whose happiness should matter now is Emmy. After all these months spent holding on to hope he'd return, or regret, or realize what he lost, it finally hit me. The only person left watching is Emmy. The only person whose opinion matters is me. The only person who gets to decide when it's over is Emmy. So yeah, I blocked him because sometimes healing means slamming doors shut, even if nobody hears them but you, because sometimes thriving isn't about revenge. It's about refusing let anyone rewrite your story ever again. Because sometimes survival means letting go even when your heart still aches for answers you'll never get. Because sometimes loving yourself looks exactly like hitting block and never looking back again.